Hi guys, back with another video for you today. This is a video I've been wanting to do for quite some time on this channel because this is one of my favorite Penhaligon's fragrances and I had ranked it pretty high in my top 15 Penhaligon's fragrances video. If you haven't watched that, I have a link in the info box. Please click that to watch as well after this video. But the fragrance I'm speaking about is Penhaligon's Halfeti. A really awesome release from this house, but this is not going to be your traditional review for Penhaligon's Halfeti because I'm also going to do a comparison to the new flanker that's been out called Halfeti Leather. So Halfeti Leather. The only unfortunate part is this is an exclusive to Selfridges, so you can pick it up in London and no other stores sell it, but Selfridges now ships to the States, so you can get it. You can get both. So if you want to find out about Halfeti and Halfeti Leather, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. If this is your first time tuning into my channel and you love watching fragrance reviews, finding out about new fragrances, discovering new brands, and of course participating in giveaways and still haven't subscribed, please click that subscribe button below and also click the bell so you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So Halfeti was a fragrance that I knew about for quite some time, and then I discovered it when Penhaligon's opened up their store here in San Francisco. Unfortunately, the store is now closed, but they had a store here for a good 1.5 years, I believe. Now, whenever I walked through the mall, and Penhaligon's had their store in our San Francisco center, downtown, near Union Square, as soon as you kind of get close to Penhaligon's, you'd start smelling this. So this fragrance was like all over that store. So it left a major impression on me and I kind of got addicted to it, of the smell. But you know what? When you smell something so much, sometimes you also get bored from it. And I'm kind of like at the stage, but this is a fragrance that I've loved a lot. But I'm going to tell you all about it. And also this brand spanking new, exclusive to Selfridges flanker called Halfeti Leather. So Halfeti, first of all, is the name of a small village in Turkey, if you didn't know. So this is the Trade Routes collection of fragrances from Penhaligon's, and of course, you know, they are focusing on different places along the routes, the trade routes. So Halfeti was launched in 2015. The perfumer is Christian Provenzano. It's EDP Eau De Parfum concentration, and the price suggested retail is $250. That's 100 ml. This one has a ton of different notes in the notes. So for the notes at the top, you've got grapefruit, bergamot, green notes, Armoise, Cypress. In the heart, you've got Cumin, Nutmeg, Violet, Saffron, Rose, Jasmine, Muguet, which is Lily of the Valley. In the base notes, you've got leather, oud, amber, resins, tonka, vanilla, and sandalwood. So the flanker, Halfeti Leather, was launched in 2019, and I'm not sure if this is going to be permanently an exclusive to Selfridges, or will it be available for the rest of the world, just like Cairo was at one time not permanent, what am I saying, a temporary exclusive to Harrods, and then it became available worldwide. So potentially this would happen with this one as well, but currently you can buy it from Selfridges.com, which is shipping to the States. So this is a 2019 release. Concentration is EDP like this one, and for notes in this one you've got top notes, bergamot, citruses. In the heart notes you've got lavender, cardamom, nutmeg, cinnamon. In the base notes you've got oud and patchouli, and of course leather, because this is all about leather. Now, one of the things I know about this one is the fact that this has a pretty prominent rose note, and the note of rose is not listed here at all for the notes, according to the website that I found information about this fragrance. But there's this slightly floral, like rose, almost like rose jammy kind of a smell in here, which isn't really like distinguishing as rose jam. There's a fruitiness about it, kind of also like plums or apricots or maybe like prunes, that's also kind of present in here as well. But this one, to me, it's mostly about the leather along with the oud and the warm spicy touches. But here there's differences in for sure, because when I smell them side by side, you can totally like pick out differences and unique twists to the fragrance compared to one another. Because Halfeti, to me, is one of the drier fragrances. But when you smell Halfeti Leather, there's more of a syrupy, molassesy experience compared to Halfeti. So you got this dry airiness about this, even though it's pretty intense. It's a long-lasting fragrance, and the fragrance lingers on a long time. It doesn't have the dryness here. This one just kind of sticks more because there's a gooiness about it that's different compared to this one. But this one, to me, standout notes are, of course, the saffron. It's very spicy. It's very warm, spicy, along with that oud. The oud is pretty prominent here. It's a very oudy fragrance, and this is probably one of those typical oud and rose fragrances that people tend to love. But this is Penhaligon's twist with that saffron, and of course the leather in here. The leather is pretty prominent as well. It's one of the standout notes to me, but for me, the leather is even more amped up here, and it's meshed with fruity touches. To me, I get lots of fruitiness with this, but they're darker fruits, just like the bottle. They're not like I mentioned apricot, but I think it's more like plums and prunes, and maybe even like dried cherries or dried cassis, things like that. They're very dark fruits, maybe blueberries even, but it doesn't go ultra fruity. It's just a very dried fruit rather than fresh fruits to me. But the leather is amped up pretty prominently here, as I said. There are light hints of roses, but it doesn't really kind of go there. It doesn't go rosy as much as this one. This one is an ultra rosy experience. This one is just more of a fruity experience. And you know what? For me, I really love leathers mixed with fruity touches. The first time I really fell in love with a leather that had fruity notes in it was YSL's Noble Leather. I really loved that one, and the fusion of the fruity touches, dried fruits mostly, with that beautiful soft suede-like leather was an awesome match made in heaven. Unfortunately, that fragrance has been discontinued. But here, even though that had more like stone fruit, like peaches and apricots, this one, as I said, is more darker fruits. Even something like raisins comes to mind when I smell this one. It's still mostly Halfeti, don't get me wrong. Like you can totally tell that it's a kind of like an offspring of the original Halfeti. But you know, when you have people that are like with a dry sense of humor, this one's the dry one, of course. As I said, this is a very dry experience for me. The only thing that kind of adds this gooiness is the rose in here. This one isn't not so dry. It's very alive to me. It's very syrupy. It kind of runs a lot on me, and it kind of like just you experience it that way. So it's different experiences. It's different unique twists to the fragrance, and it depends on your mood which one you like. And also, you can smell one, you go, okay, this one's too much leather for me. I prefer the oud and the rose and the cypress and the leather in here, where this one actually goes too fruity for me, perhaps. And again, I'm not one of those people that really likes ultra fruity fragrances. Personally, I love the dried fruits, and I, for some reason, seek out fragrances that have dried fruits in the notes, and those are some of my favorite notes in fragrances, especially when it comes to fruity fragrances. Dried fruits is pretty awesome, and mixed with leather is pretty awesome as well. And again, this one is more of a darker experience. Just imagine in the wintertime when you're I don't know, some countries have a specialty in mulled wine where they're kind of like grapes. Of course, it's grapes. I get that kind of experience with this one. It's kind of like a spicy, kind of fruity leather, whereas this one is more of a straight-in-your-face rose and oud with aromatic touches here and there with that saffron. It's beautiful dry saffron. You also have that cypress. It's one-of-a-kind release. It's very popular, and I can see why this one's very popular, and I can see why they were using it to freshen the area of that store, because it's very addictive and it's very intoxicating. One whiff and you're kind of like curious what that smell is, and you want to go experience the smell and smell what you're smelling, because it's that kind of a fragrance. It's a success for me. This actually is very successful. I just see people going after it, seeking it out, and enjoying it, and I enjoy it as well. But when you wear something for a long time, you do once in a while seek out some of the flankers, and I love flankers, and this flanker definitely works for me. I really like it, and I like that dark leather fruity experience with Halfeti Leather. Anyway, those are my thoughts with these two fragrances. What are your thoughts about these two fragrances? Are you a fan of the original Halfeti? Have you tried the new Halfeti Leather? Please let me know what your thoughts are. Put some comments down. Also, let me know your thoughts on this house, Penhaligon's. Are you a fan of the fragrances. If you search my channel, you can find lots of different videos I've done for the house. I love this house. It's one of the very first niche houses that I sampled way back in the 90s when I didn't really know the word niche, and at the time I had discovered both Penhaligons and Annick Goutal, and I'm still fans of both, and of course I'm even more of a fan of Penhaligons now. Yeah, search my channel and you'll find Penhaligons videos about Penhaligons fragrances, and of course I had that top 15 Penhaligons fragrances video, and of course additional fragrances. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on Halfeti and Halfeti Leather. Please like this video, please share it, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.